Hey guys, welcome back to This Budget Life. I am doing a collab with Real with Mrs. B, and I will link her channel below. We're doing a collab called 5 Things We Used to Spend Money On. And this actually took me a little bit of thought because I've done a video like this before, and I will link that in here, but called 10 Things We Used to Spend Money On, or something to that effect. So I had to come up with 5 more things, and it took a little bit of thinking, but I got it done. If my voice is echoing, it's because I am filming in my bathroom because I have 5 children and we homeschool, and so they are home all the time. No, I'm kidding. I love my kids. They're good kids. They're out doing chores and getting ready for supper and stuff, so I thought I'd quickly get this done. How do you like my plaid shirt? You haven't seen this before. This is part of my fall capsule wardrobe, and I'm enjoying trying different things on and different combinations of things before I do the whole big reveal. But this is one of them, and I'm matching my burgundy lipstick. I'm not so sure. It's kind of dark for how blonde and pale I am now, but I had it, so I thought I'd try it with the burgundy and stuff. I got this cute little shirt. It's a actually a longer tunic length. You can wear it with leggings, and I got this at Maurice's. So if you have a Maurice's near you, it's a really cute shirt, and I like it so far. So anyway, 5 things we used to spend money on. This is no particular order of importance or anything. The first one is babysitters. We used to spend money on babysitters, and it really almost has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that we're budgeting now. It really just has to do with the fact that we finally have 2 children that are in their teens, that are competent and well-trained, thanks to me, that can babysit. So that is one thing that is nice. Now, if you don't have older kids and you're looking for babysitting, one of the things that I suggest that you do is to find a neighbor, or if you've got family, and swap babysitting. Babysitting can add, especially if you want to do dinner and a movie, $50, $60+ to a date night, especially if you've got multiple children. You're probably going to have to pay more than you would for one baby that's going to sleep the whole time while the babysitter eats your food and watches your TV. So find somebody you can swap date night babysitting for. This can be really, really helpful for couples that are working on baby step 2, or just don't have a lot of money or whatever, until the kids are old enough to babysit on their own. Now, if you've got a teenager that you feel is responsible in your neighborhood and they don't charge much and they're just looking for some spare change, they may be more than happy to babysit your kids and say, hey, look, we're going to be gone for X amount of hours, $20. And that's something you can work into your budget if you don't have anybody to swap with. So we've swapped babysitting before with family. We've paid babysitters in the past, but now we have 2 teenagers, and they can cook and clean. They can give the kids, little ones, baths, get to bed at a decent hour. They're responsible, and I'm grateful for that. So shout out to my 2 teenagers, Taylor and Amy, for giving mom and dad that little bit of a break. We enjoy it. Number 2, renting shampooers. So we have, almost since we were married, I would say maybe the first year or 2 we didn't, because we didn't have any money at all. But we've always had carpet in our homes, and so we've always, every so often, had to rent a shampooer to shampoo furniture and rugs, and they can get expensive, and they're huge, and they're heavy, and you have to clean them out and return them by a certain time, or you get charged extra. So being that we have 5 children and there's a lot of foot traffic in our house, although the main areas are hardwood and tile, we do have area rugs on those, and all of our carpets all of our bedrooms are carpeted. So we do wind up having to use a shampooer. Even before we had this house, when we spent 10 years living in a single wide trailer, everything was carpeted except for the bathrooms and kitchen, and so we used it then. And also for our furniture, it has been, although it's a bigger initial expense, it has saved us a lot of money and in the long term, and I think extends the life of our carpeting and our furniture. I recommend doing a lot of research on the best model. Don't get the most expensive one, and don't get the cheapest one that's like $40 at Walmart. You really need to be looking at investing probably close to, or maybe even over $200 in a really solidly built, good quality rug shampooer that has furniture attachments if you need them. Now, if you have all leather and wood furniture, you don't need them. But for us, we have microfiber furniture for the moment, although I hope someday to have a leather couch. Right now we have microfiber furniture in the living room, and so we need the furniture attachment. We have a Bissell, I think it's called a Bissell Deep Clean. It's like a forest green, and I will put a link to that if you want to take a look at it. But we got it from Amazon, and we've been very happy with it. All right, the other thing we don't spend money on is razors. We use the Dollar Shave Club, and we have found that even with 4 of us shaving, which is me and my husband, and of course we shave the most, and then we've got 2 teenagers that every so often, you know, they have to shave. It's not quite as frequent as their parents at the moment. So we have found that about every other month we get 1 package of the executive blade. So it's $9 every other month, and that's more than enough blades to go around. Way cheaper than the Gillette pack of 6 for $25. They last the blades that we get from the executive ones last a really long time. I've heard other people say that even the less expensive blades last a really long time. I just really prefer the more blades the better for my husband's beard hair and for leg hair. I like the smoother finish. So Dollar Shave Club, and you can set that shipping up to go however you want. Like I said, we pay $9 every other month to get a package of 4 blades, and it works out really, really well. Number 4, DVD rentals. Now this is fairly new. We have been having an envelope in our budget set aside for Redbox movies. So we'd watch every Tuesday, at least at our Redbox. The new releases will come out, and they used to be $1. And if you've been watching Redbox prices or you use them regularly, you saw how over time that initial claim that sucked us all in of $1 a day actually has been going up. So now it's $1.60 in my area for a regular DVD. It's more than that for a Blu-ray or a video game, but it's $1.60 a day for a regular DVD. And you have to have it returned before 9 o'clock the next day, 9 p.m., or you get charged for another day. Now, I am like 10 minutes from my closest Walmart, and I cannot tell you like how many times I'm like, I'm only gonna have this for 1 day, and it winds up sitting there for 2-3 days, or half the family watches and the other half doesn't. They're like, oh, hang on to another for a day or 2 so we can watch it, and then they never do, and it just gets forgotten about, and we wind up with like a $6 charge on what was supposed to be a 1-day video. So we are taking advantage of the new service called BidAngel. We are streaming it through our Roku, and basically you pay $20 for a movie up front. You can then filter that movie in any way that you see fit for language, sexuality, graphic violence. You can get really, really specific. They have like probably hundreds of filters that you can use to take out anything you feel will be objectionable or inappropriate for your family. So we just started using that. Once you're done with the movie, you sell it back to BidAngel, and they give you 19 video credits towards your next purchase. So every time you buy a video, you use up the 19 credits from before and $1 additional, and you have it for 24 hours. You can choose manual sell back, which is you just sell it back to them whenever you're done. So there is the potential for having more, or you can set it for automatic sell back, where in 24 hours they take the movie off of your account and credit it back to you, and you can use that for any other movies. The reason they charge so much upfront is because you need to technically own the movie in order to be able to make any changes to the content when you go through and filter it. So we've only done this with 1 movie so far, and we didn't have to filter it because it was God's Not Dead 2, which is what we filtered. And it's definitely something we enjoyed, and I can really see a lot of potential for families that have very young children, or like us, we're a Christian family, and so there's quite a bit of content in a lot of things that we would prefer that our children not see. Not that we're trying to keep the kids too sheltered. We definitely understand that as they get older, especially like my 15 and 13-year-old, we're starting to give them a little bit more exposure to some things, but we do have 3 younger children in the house, and so it's really nice to have that option there for them. So we cut that out, no more red box. Sorry, red box. I mean, I loved you while you were here, but anymore, streaming is the way to go. So we changed the red box envelope in our budget to BidAngel, and I've allowed for 2 movie rentals a month. We've already streamed Hulu and Netflix, and so I feel like we've got quite enough TV viewing options. I'm not going to set aside a huge chunk. So $2 a month after the initial $20 fee that we paid to BidAngel, and we'll see how it goes. But that's fairly new for us. And then the last one, which makes me kind of sad, is my yarn stash. I don't know if any of you guys are crafty, knitter, crochet, bead, jewelry, whatever, decoupage people. I mean, does anybody decoupage anymore? I don't know. I love to knit and crochet and do needlepoint, and I can do all of them. And back in the day when I just had 3 younger ones and I was home all the time, I had a very, very, very small social circle, it was basically just a couple of church ladies, I got bored. And so I was teaching myself to knit in my spare time, and I started getting into boutique yarns and really high-end yarns, which I kind of recommend if you're going to be a knitter, unless you're like knitting for charity and you need to have large amounts of really cheap acrylic yarn. There is no substitute for a really nice wool blend yarn, a nice high quality cashmere, and alpaca is one of my favorites. But it's pricey, and sorry, there's like dust in the air. So I have like this big stash, and when I got diagnosed with fibromyalgia, it had been about a year since I'd really been able to knit anything because of the pain and stiffness in my hands and joints. And so I very, very, very rarely knit anymore. The last time I knitted was a blanket for my pastor's wife. They had a little baby and I made him a blanket. But that was literally something that took me months to do because I could only do a few rows at a time, and the only time I really had to do it was at night. So at night, after all the kids had gone to bed, if we were sitting there watching an episode of Frasier or something in our bedroom before we went to sleep, I'd grab the knitting out of my nightstand and do a couple rows, and then my hands would start to hurt and I'd put it away. So I wound up selling a ton of the high-end yarns. Now I have a few that I probably, and only yarn people will understand this, that I will probably never make into anything because I love them too much, but I cannot sell them or give them away. They're just too beautiful and exquisite, and I don't feel like my skill is equal to the gorgeousness of this yarn. And so because of that, I have not allowed myself to buy any more yarn. I did buy yarn for the pastor's baby's blanket because everything I had with higher end yarns, a lot of times it has to be hand washed, and that is just not practical when it comes to a newborn. It needs to be able to be tossed in the washer and dryer. So I did purchase them, but I'm not collecting anymore. I am purchasing with a specific project in mind, using it for that, and it's like maybe once or twice a year. And it's not that I still get the catalogs. I still like drool over everything, you know, and enjoy my yarn porn, but excuse the word, yarn porn, but it's true. And then the urge passes. We have a beautiful yarn store up by us, and I often get the urge to run by there, but I almost always do my grocery shopping on Mondays. And here in the South, a lot of privately owned businesses are not open on Mondays. So that kind of helps curb, because I can't buy it if it's not there. And the only places that are open are Walmart and Hobby Lobby, and they all sell crappy yarn. Weird novelty stuff that nobody would ever want to wear something made out of, and this horrible, it literally, my skin is crawling, like squeaky, acrylic, horribleness. Like I can't. I have to have a textural relationship with my yarn and my crafts. So we don't spend money on yarn anymore. I mean, once or twice a year maybe, but it would come out of like a gift envelope if I'm making it for somebody, or a clothes envelope. It's very, very rare because I know I have to have the patience to put into it. So those are our 5 things. I am looking forward to seeing what everybody else's 5 things are. I feel like I will have fresh new ideas, and look for other areas that we can save in. I am also working on that weight loss with the essential oils video. I did it the other day, but I was having some issues with my epilepsy, and honestly, when I watched the clips and went to go edit them, I was kind of spacey and forgetful, and that's both related to the epilepsy and also to the fibro, and it was going to take so much editing that I'm just going to reshoot the whole thing. So forgive me for not having it up sooner this week. I did tape it, I did get it up to edit, and between homeschooling and everything, I just didn't have a chance to reshoot it yet, but it is coming. And you will see that and hopefully get everybody some ideas for using some natural means of jumpstarting your weight loss before we get too close to the holidays. So anyway, thank you for stopping by. Like and subscribe. Check out the other videos. Check out the other people that are doing this collab, and I will see you later.